What I'm going to be covering for you guys today is actually the hardest part of growing your business using paid ads, and also a couple of the common pitfalls, a few mistakes that I've made and also that I have seen from being blessed to coach hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fitness business owners to be able to scale using paid ads. Now, the first common mistake or the hardest part that I find about scaling with paid ads was actually the amount of sales follow-up required to be successful. Now, when I first started running paid ads many years ago, is what I kind of thought is you would run a paid ad, people would opt in, and then they would answer one phone call and come into the gym and join up. And I was like complaining to my business coach month after month after month after month. And then one day it clicked. And what the actual issue that I personally was having is that I wanted it to be too easy. I wanted to just run an ad, people opt in, they come in and they pay me money. I didn't understand how the sales funnel actually worked and what it actually took to be successful. And then for quite a number of months, I wasn't actually willing to implement the successful tactics needed to be able to grow. So what that caused for me was I was getting a lot of leads and the ads were going really well, but I wasn't getting the results in comparison to other people who were growing a lot faster using paid ads. And where the issue actually arose was in our sales follow-up processes. So when we were being really unsuccessful with paid ads, what we would kind of do is get a lead, then we would call them on the first day and text them once, and we'll do that for 3 days, and then we would not contact the lead again. And for those who know how to do proper sales follow-up in terms of paid ads, you're probably laughing at me right now knowing why we weren't successful and why we weren't growing. Because when you guys are running Facebook and Instagram paid ads, that type of marketing is called pattern interrupt marketing. And what that means is people are going to their newsfeed to be entertained, to see what their friends and family are doing, and catch up on things that are much different to signing up to a gym's 28-day transformation challenge. So what a really good ad does, it stops the scroll and then it sparks their interest to change their life forever. And that is the whole concept of Facebook ads, especially in terms of a fitness business. It's why your offer and your graphic are so important to be able to stop the scroll. So after months and months and months of being really frustrated, really overwhelmed, not getting results, beating myself up, I finally decided to drink the Kool-Aid and actually follow what other people who were much more successful in terms of running Facebook ads for gyms were implementing in their business that was different to what we were currently doing. And it all changed very quickly. So what we started to do was to call all of our leads within 30 minutes. That was our goal. Ideally, we would try to call them within 5 minutes. And we're so blessed with automations and technology that you and I have at our disposal today, where I could get a text message when someone opts into our ads, so I could call them as quickly as possible. Now, during this time, I was still running a few sessions and things like that, so it wasn't always possible to call the leads within 30 minutes, but that was always our main endeavor. And we would track that very tightly about how many of the leads we called within 30 minutes and how many we didn't. And some amazing statistics came up for our business that I want to share with you guys. Is if we called the leads within 30 minutes, it took on average 4.1 phone calls to get them to pick up and book in for a consultation. Now, if we called outside of 30 minutes, it took 9.1 phone calls. So double the amount of work. And when we started to track that, I like to be a really lazy person in business. I have enough stuff to think about. And just simply by calling those leads faster, saved me over 50% of our time as a company. Absolutely massive. And quite often, especially when we're double dialing within 30 minutes, which means calling once, if they don't answer, calling again, it was a lot quicker, right? And we're able to turn that buyer cycle over a lot faster so that we could help more people and so that we could earn more money. Now, the sales follow-up that we implemented to be able to scale a multi-million-dollar fitness business using paid ads was this. Our first point of call was to call them within 30 minutes. That was our main target all the time. We had to free up times in terms of training sessions. We had to have automations, and we had to really relentlessly focus on that. It was not easy, but it absolutely changed my life when we were able to implement it. And that's the first thing that you want to focus on when running paid ads. And you are able to use amazing systems like ACR 365 to be able to automate your reminders of when someone actually opts in so that you can call them incredibly quickly. The only thing better than 30 minutes is 5 minutes. You want to really condense that time down as quickly as you can, because they've opted in, they've shown interest. Every minute that you wait to call them is a chance that they have looked elsewhere or they have forgotten about your amazing offer. But then what we had to implement on advice from other people who were much more successful than me at the time was a 10-day follow-up sequence. So what we did over 10 days is we would call our leads twice per day in the first 5 days, text them once, and then email them once. That was for the first 5 days. And that was 20 points of contact in 5 days. Quite a lot. But what that helped us do was able to monetize our paid ads and create a multi-million-dollar fitness business. Was it easy? No, because we had to learn a lot of new tactics, a lot of new strategies. You had to be absolutely relentless, regardless of your emotions, regardless of how your day was going. You had to follow up those leads. And that's a strategy for the first 5 days. But you don't quit there. You never quit early in life. You go as long as it takes to be successful and to change this person's life. So for the next 5 days, we would call once, we would text once, and we would email once. And we were doing predominantly most of this without automations. Because when I call you off my number and text you off my personal number, it has a different feel in comparison to automations. And I'm a really big fan of automating your business. Obviously, I really love ACR 365. I think it's an amazing tool for absolutely everyone in the fitness industry. But if you rely on automations to grow and scale your business, you are going to get absolutely annihilated by a half-decent sales rep who is willing to roll up their sleeves and do things manually. That was the follow-up process. You now know what to do. And a couple of positive benefits came off the back of that follow-up. Firstly, I stopped saying that we had bad leads because we were converting at over 30% of our leads into a paid program. Now, industry average is 20% in fitness. That means there's people watching or listening to this episode who convert at 5%, and there's also people that convert at much higher. That would be industry average. Also industry average, because I opt into a lot of our clients' funnels, is to actually not follow up. I opted into a gym's funnel in the Gold Coast. So they were complaining about their lead quality and things like that. And I was like, look, why don't I just opt in? So I opted into their website on Monday evening. And then I got one call the next day with a text that had typos in it, wasn't really written correctly. And then I've had no contact since. So we're now running on 36 hours since I opted in for that gym. And I've had 2 points of contact. And one of the points of contact had really bad typos in it. Now that's the average fitness business, guys. And what you've got to decide in your business, if you're growing with Facebook and Instagram ads, is do you want to follow what really successful fitness business owners do to scale? Or do you want to try and recreate your own wheel and go against the philosophies that have worked of growing a fitness business for 10, 15, 20 years and try and create something new by being lazy through automations or lack of effort and complain that your business isn't growing, complain that you have bad lead quality, and complain that your ads don't work? You've really got to choose your own destiny on this. But when you are running paid ads, that follow-up procedure that I covered a couple of minutes ago is absolutely vital if you want to make millions and millions and millions of dollars using paid ads. Now, a couple of the common pitfalls that I want to cover for you guys today, especially if you're thinking about running ads or you're paying for ads at the moment. And these are just like the top 3 that I see most commonly. And the first one is people feel the need to change their offer every single month. They go from a 21-day offer to a 28 to a 6-week to a free trial. And one of the concepts that I tell a lot of my marketing students is that McDonald's don't change the Big Mac. The reason they don't change the Big Mac is because it works. It grows their business. It's universally well known as a nice tasting burger for those who love McDonald's and Big Macs. And what that means for you guys is that if you find an offer that is working and scaling your business, you're finding the marketing easy, you're closing sales, you're getting people amazing results, stay with that offer for as long as you can. That offer for our business was a 28-day offer, and we ran that for 4 years. We had so many testimonials about that singular offer. We were so well trained in the sales follow-up procedures. We had our automations and our client onboarding dialed into the day, and we knew absolutely every level of that funnel. But if we change from a 28-day to a 21 to a 6-week offer, you never get to the level of mastery. So try and stay on the same offer for as long as humanly possible, especially if it's working to grow your business. Now, the next common mistake people make is they're not rotating through graphics enough within their ads. So within our agency, when we're running ads for people, we'll rotate through 15 to 20 different images every single month to 2 months. Because with your pattern interrupt marketing within your ads, having the right graphics is absolutely vital to stop the scroll and get the click so they see your opt-in mechanism. Just make sure that you're rotating graphics more. And we've got a lot of trainings on that within the inner circle. And then finally, one of the most common mistakes is that fitness business owners don't have a defined sales funnel. They don't know what happens from opt-in to sale. And what happens a lot is they might have heard someone talk about selling over the phone or selling face-to-face. So they have a hybrid way of selling, where some people sell over the phone, some people sell over face-to-face, and it makes an absolute mess of your sales systems. And what you must do when you're running paid ads, but also to scale a successful fitness business, you must have a very clearly defined sales process. And I will share with you our sales process just so you can see how it was defined. So we would get a lead. Then that lead would need to do a 5 to 10 minute triage call on the phone with one of our sales reps to make sure they're a good fit for our program. Then we would get that lead booked in for a consultation face-to-face within the gym within 24 to 48 hours, and then we would take their money. That was our exact sales process. Someone couldn't just book in for the gym without that phone call because we didn't know whether we could help them and whether they were a good fit. Now, that was our sales process that helped us scale to 1,200 members. I'm not saying that is the sales process that you need in your business, but it needs to be very clearly defined. And of course, within those steps, there's emails and text messages and reminders, but it was just a basic 2-step process on how we get people into a selling environment to know that our chances of closing them were incredibly high. I hope you got a little bit of value from today. I hope that it opened your eyes a little bit on what it takes to run paid ads and you learned a few things about the pitfalls. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm always here to help you guys in any way that I can.